Hi, welcome back to my channel. So this is part two of a balancing sequence. If you haven't done part one, just have a little scoot back and look at that one first. It's all about linking postures together whilst we maintain our core control, our strong foundations, and our balance. As we get older, we tend to sort of be a bit more fearful about balancing and unsure of, if we're going to fall or whatever. So these exercises and these two short videos will hopefully give you a little bit of confidence in your day-to-day living. As I said in the previous video, we don't tend to fall over in day-to-day life if we're just sort of standing on one leg, because generally we don't stand on one leg. It's more about having that confidence and in yourself so that you can move from pose to pose, whether you're twisting, turning, bending, stretching, knowing that your foundations are strong and you're not going to topple over. So this is part two. We are just increasing or adding on to what we did in part one. Again, it's quite a short video. I think I probably waffled a little bit too much in the first one, so I'm going to try and cut out the waffle with this one, and we are going to get straight into it. We're going to start standing on our mat. In fact, we are going to stay standing, and we're going to come into our mountain pose. So shrugging the shoulders back and down, planting the feet firmly onto your mat, and just taking a second or two, a breath or two here, to feel your body weight underneath the soles of your feet. And we can be aware and notice the mat or the floor, if you're just standing on the floor, underneath your big toe, your small toe, the center point of your heel. Hopefully you might be able to feel the outer edges of your feet, the inner edges of your feet as well, making a little bit of contact with the earth. And if you close your eyes, you can really draw that focus in and just be aware of how you're standing. So we are just, allowing the spine to curve naturally. We're not standing round rod straight as though we're outside the palace or anything. We are rooted down through the feet. We're lengthening through the legs, softening through the shoulders, maybe growing an inch through the crown of the head here. And just following the rhythm of our breathing. As you draw that breath in, you can feel the belly expand. You can feel that air circulating, that breath, that energy circulating through your body. And as we exhale, the breath slowly recedes out through the nose until the in-breath is ready and waiting to be drawn in. So the breath flows smoothly, echoing, hopefully, our movements as well. So from our mountain pose, we're going to transfer the weight into our right foot. I will spin around a little just to show you. And we're going to lift our left foot up and take a hold of our left knee with our left hand. Let's extend the right arm out to the side. This helps as a little bit of a counterbalance. Now you might notice that my ankle is wobbling, my foot isn't fully connected to the floor as my body registers where its center of gravity is, and that's okay. And even if you fall or you have to drop your foot or you need a wall to hold on to, again, use what you need to find your balance in this posture. And we're just going to hold this for a couple of breaths. You might even want to take the knee out to the side a little bit, have a little bit of a rotation, bit of movement. And every time we draw that movement in, the balance that we found is challenged. And that's good. We need to challenge that balance, challenge our center of gravity so that we can remain strong and secure in this posture. Let's return that right foot to the floor. Wiggle the ankle if you need to. And then we're going to lift the other foot off. Extending the arm out to the side if you need to for a little bit of counterbalance. One side always feels easier than the other. And again, you might want to rotate out to the side challenging yourself before drawing it back to center and down towards the floor. So that is our first movement. We're going to link it into our second movement now. So if I turn myself back to face the top of the mat, returning to our mountain pose. So our second movement, we're going to bring the weight into our right foot and just step our left foot back into a high lunge. So we are on the ball of our left foot. We're going to bring a little bend into that right knee and just take the hands to the heart. We can stay here. Take your time. Find your focus and your foundation. Find your breath. And again, if you want to challenge yourself with some movement, we can inhale, straighten through the legs and lift up with the arms. The exhale draws the hands back to the heart and the bend into that front knee. Just 2 more times here. Lifting up. Exhale, drawing down. Remember, you can just stay here if you want to. We don't have to lift up and down. We can keep our focus on a point in front of us. Drawing all the way back down. Bringing the weight into that front foot as we step the back foot to meet it. Let's come on to the opposite side now. So we're going to step our right foot back behind us. Wobble around a little bit if you need to. And then when you feel fully grounded, we bring the hands to the heart, keeping our front knee out towards the small toe, focusing on our breathing. And remember, we can stay here, holding onto a wall if you need to, or we can bring that movement in. Remember to breathe. Let the breath guide the movement, taking it down on the exhale. 2 more. Nice big breath, stretching up on the inhale. The exhale draws us down. Last time. Exhale down. Weight comes into that front foot. Step the back foot forward. Excellent. Okay, number 3. In the first video, our third pose was tree pose. This posture that we're going to do now is a little bit of a cross between tree and chair, which were linked in the first video. So for this one, we bring the weight into one foot. We take the other foot across the leg. We can stay like this if we want to, standing tall with the foot here. If the foot doesn't reach, we're just going to cross it over on the floor, okay? So either foot to the floor, if this movement is not available to you for whatever reason. Bring your hands to your heart and then see if we can sit down just a couple of inches as though you're lowering your bottom towards a chair. If your foot is on the floor, we can stay here, or again, we can just move the bottom backwards. If I turn to the side, so we're not just coming straight down, we're not doing a little curtsy, we're shifting the bottom backwards as though we're going to sit on a chair, okay? So those are the 2 options. We either come into this pose, this pose, this pose, or this, okay? So there's always options. This is just a way of shifting that weight, shifting the focus and challenging our balance. Let's give it a go. Starting with our right foot as our standing foot, we're taking our left ankle over that right knee, hands to heart and just sitting down. Staying here just for a couple of breaths. The more challenging the pose, the shorter the breath will be. You might even find you're holding your breath to maintain that focus. The trick is to allow that breath to flow easily, and hopefully this in turn will let your movements become a little easier too. Let's push up on that standing leg, uncross the leg, give them a little bit of a walk out if you need to, and then come on to the opposite side. Crossing the ankle over, sitting down. One side will always feel easier than the other. If you suffer with tightness around the hips or soreness or tightness in the lower back, this can be a challenge, and you might just want to come into the cross ankled option of this one rather than the full sitting down, seated pigeon pose, I think we call it. Couple of breaths, soften the shoulders, and then we push through that standing foot and release. Okay, now things are going to get really interesting. We're going to link those 3 movements together. We'll do it a couple of times. It will be quite intense because we are doing postures that we're not used to. We're moving a little bit more than we were in the first balance one. So do take your time. We'll have a run through both sides, obviously, a little bit slower in the first instance, and then maybe incorporate the 1 breath, 1 movement that we did in the first video as well. Okay, so when you are ready, we will come towards the top of your mat and find our foundation mountain posture, rolling the shoulders, finding that support underneath our feet. Take a lovely deep breath in through the nose and maybe exhale out through the mouth as we prepare to transfer the weight into our right foot. We're going to lift our left knee and take the hand underneath the knee here, rooting down through that standing leg. We can extend our right arm out to the side if we want to, as that counterbalance, or like me, have a wall to hold on to. Just staying here for a couple of breaths. From here, we're going to move into our high lunge. If you want to, we can extend that knee out to the side, just as we did previously. Draw that knee back in, take our hands to the heart, and with control, remember we're still breathing, maybe exhaling out. Drop that left foot behind you. Dance your feet around so that you do feel stable under your feet. Inhale, let's lift up with the arms. Exhale, take it down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, down. Last time, lifting up. Exhale, drawing it down. As we do so, bringing the weight into the front foot, lifting that left knee again, and see if we can place the ankle over the knee, on the thigh, or cross our foot over and sink into our chair pose. So remember, we are either in our seated pigeon or our variation of an eagle. Holding it here just for 1 more inhale. You're doing really well. It's very, very challenging on that standing leg. As you inhale, really root down through that right foot. Push yourself to standing and drop your left foot back to the earth as we find our mountain pose once more. Just take a couple of breaths to find your connection, find your breath, find your focus. Bringing that weight into your left foot now. We're going to reach that right knee up, holding the leg on the front of the shin. Taking possibly the left arm out to the side for that counterbalance. Staying here for a few breaths. You might want to experiment by taking that right knee to the side. Drawing it back into center. As you do so, bring your hands to the heart. Exhale, slowly dropping your right foot behind you into your high lunge, keeping the knee towards the small toe. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, taking it down. Inhale up. Exhale. Last time, inhaling up. As you exhale, returning the hands to the heart, the weight shifts into the left foot, the right knee lifts. We cross it over, either taking ankle to the thigh or foot to floor, sitting down into our little pigeon squat here. Just holding it for 3. Focus breath for 2. And 1. Pushing down through that standing leg, lifting the knee and returning the foot to the floor. Coming back to your mountain. Well done. That is not easy. Take a moment, pause the video if you need to, have a little drink of water. We're going to do the whole thing again, just moving slightly quicker. One thing I will say though is don't compromise the quality of your breathing and the smoothness of your movement with the urge for speed to get it all over and done with a lot quicker. Really let your breath guide you through this movement. See if we can do 1 breath, 1 movement in this last little round here. Taking our lovely deep inhale in our mountain pose, exhale in our mountain pose. Transferring the weight into the right foot as we lift that left knee. Exhale, drawing the knee out to the side. Inhale, coming back to center, hands to heart, drop the foot behind us, finding our high lunge here. 1 inhale up. 1 exhale down, shifting the weight forward, lifting that left knee, crossing over, coming into your standing pigeon or your variation of an eagle pose, pushing up through that standing leg, lifting the knee, dropping the foot to the floor in our mountain. Take a breath in. As you exhale, lifting that right knee, maybe taking that left hand out to the side. Inhale, the knee possibly rotating towards the right. Exhale, come back to center, hands to heart. With control, drop your right foot behind you, high lunge. Knee stays out towards the small toe. We inhale, we lift and lengthen. We exhale, drawing down, weight into the left foot, stepping the right knee up, crossing it over, pushing through that left foot as we draw ourselves back to standing, palms facing forward, shoulders back and down, returning once more to our mountain. So as you may notice, your heart rate will have increased a little bit here, but we're still finding that softness around our jaw, across the shoulders, through the chest as well. So even though it might seem that we are not moving terribly quickly or doing anything fancy, we are still challenging ourselves and all the while focusing on our breathing and just being more confident in our abilities to move in a controlled and balanced fashion. I hope you have enjoyed this second video on balance. Please come back and join me on the mat again very soon. Thank you so much. Namaste.